We're continuing our conversation with Aaron Beam, co-founder and former CFO of HealthSouth, and we were talking about rationalization of unethical behavior. We do it. We lie to ourselves in little ways and in big ways. But at this moment when the chairman tells you and the accountant, I want you to fix the books, did it occur to you to say no?
It really did not, and it's hard to believe, and I think sometimes people don't understand, but if you'd ever met Richard Scrushy, you would sort of understand. He's a very intimidating person, almost to the point, he's just a master at bullying people and getting them to do whatever he wants done. But I didn't have the courage to stand up to him and say no.
And the subheading of your book, The Wagon to Disaster, comes from a phrase he used, get with the wagon, get on the wagon.
Pull the wagon.
Pull the wagon, be a team, be a team player, but it turns out it's his wagon pulling in the direction he wants to go.
Exactly. And when I named the book, The Wagon to Disaster, all of the former employees at HealthSouth said, what a brilliant title. You know?
Now, in the book, you mention that corporate greed is the black plague of the modern financial world. And I agree with that, but just expand a bit on that.
Well, I think it's just our culture has gotten such that we put too much importance on making money to the point that we don't value the things that are really important, like honesty and integrity. And people accept unethical business behavior. It's okay as long as you're making money. There's no better example of it than the subprime debacle. Yes. People were taught how to lie on loan applications, and nobody, Wall Street, the investment firms, the real estate firms, they didn't care because everybody was making money. We were in a real estate bubble, and they tolerated unethical behavior.
And we here in California were right at the center of that.
Sure.
And if you were breathing, you could get a loan. They had loans called Nina loans, no income, no assets. If you were breathing, because everyone, as you said, was making money.
Exactly.
Well, we have a problem, Houston, don't we?
We do.
And how do we get out of this problem?
Well, it takes time, and I think there are changes in place. First off, universities are really now changing the way they teach business. The school here is very good at teaching ethics and ethical behavior. Students that are coming out of school today are a little different than the ones that came out in the 60s and 70s and 80s. That's part of it. I think the Occupy Wall Street movement was a sign that the general public is fed up with that. And that's how change starts. And I think over time it will change, but it's going to take a long time.
And you referred to the meltdown a while ago. And then prior to that, the economic meltdown. Main Street paid a huge price for the abuses of Wall Street. And it simply wasn't fair. And that's why I agree with you that Occupy Wall Street had a certain resonance. It got out of control, but there was a validity to the point that the greed of Wall Street caused hardship on Main Street and loss of jobs and closing of businesses.
Exactly. I remember about that time in 09 or so, the cover of Time magazine had a kind of devil-looking person on it, and the headline was, "Why Main Street Hates Wall Street."
Yeah. Well, greed from biblical times is one of the sins, and it is still with us, but this is just a personal viewpoint. A lot of money doesn't necessarily bring happiness, and in your case, it brought prison.
It did.
Tell us a little bit about prison.
Well, it's one of the most humiliating things you can ever go through in your life, to know that you're going to prison. I think the day my wife drove me to the prison and I had to say goodbye to her and know I was going into prison, it's very humiliating. And you check in, and the only thing they let you take in is the one little gold wedding band. Everything else they take away from you, and you're issued 3 sets of clothes and you have one little locker. Luckily I did qualify for a federal minimum security prison, so I wasn't afraid to take a shower at night. No one with violence in their background is sent to this kind of prison, and I'm thankful for that. But you know, the food, for example, they fed us every morning for breakfast canned peaches and grits. No eggs, no bacon. It's not.
As someone
not
from
fun.
Alabama, that must
Well,
be
I like
cruel
the
and
grits.
unusual.
I like the grits,
punishment.
but not every day for breakfast with canned peaches.
So this was 3 months you served.
I only
in federal
served 3
prison.
months, which.
But
thankfully
the real punishment was the reputational loss and what you just.
I am now a felon. I will always be known as a felon. My legacy is not that I started a very successful company. I will be remembered as the guy that cooked the books at HealthSouth.
Well, maybe
That's
you'll
it.
also be remembered as the guy who comes to college campuses and tells young people about truth and how they should live their lives.
Art, I hope so. That's really what I'm trying to do now. I'm really trying to make a little bit of lemonade out of lemons. And I enjoy talking to the students. I think they're the ones that are going to make the change in the business world as we go forward.
Okay. We'll be back with this great discussion after these messages.
How do you like your chances the rest of the way?
I got no idea. But I do know that if we stay with Naples Rib Company, at least we won't go hungry.
Coach, what do you think about some of those questionable calls tonight?
Yeah, but if you want a sound call, I'd call Naples Rib Company. You can't miss on that call.
Then Naples Rib Company is part of your game plan?
There really is nothing more motivating than a great barbecue meal at Naples Rib Company.
Victory or not, Naples Rib Company, great game plan.
Founded in 1976, Polly's Gourmet Coffee is Southern California's most complete gourmet coffee store. Polly's has the best tasting coffee, freshly roasted every day right in the store, plus a wide selection of teas, an in-house bakery, espresso bar, patio dining, and more. We also offer Wi-Fi, free internet access for all of our customers. Our nationwide clientele agree, when it comes to coffee, there's only one name to remember, Polly's, 4606 East 2nd Street, welcoming you into Belmont Shore.
When I was a boy growing up in Italy, I had a dream to own my own store. I came to the United States and I worked hard as a tailor. Hi, I'm Umberto. I've been in Long Beach since 1960, carrying the finest quality men's clothing. Italy's a long way away, but styles are just around the corner. Umberto, 2141 Bellflower, Long Beach.
Who needs this modern world? I can live just fine out here without the road rage and boy bands. Of course, I might miss my Charter HD with football on ESPN and Walking Dead on AMC. ESPN and AMC. And, well, Shark Week on Discovery HD. But that's all. AMC, ESPN, Discovery, TBS, and Comedy Central HD. But that's it. Except for HBO HD.
Charter now has over 100 HD channels and more brilliant HD shows on demand.